I'm Bea, and welcome back to Read in Rome. Remember in my last video, I started showing you photos from my trip to the zoo? Well, good news, I got them saved in the right order so I can finally tell you what happened. First, we went to see the penguins. It was amazing. Some of them were swimming around, and we even saw little chicks. Then we saw the lions. I couldn't believe how close we got to them. I was actually kind of scared. And after that, Wait a second. This is way too much info. I mean, I haven't even gotten to the giraffes yet. I need a quicker way to tell this story. Hey, let's practice summarizing today. In my last video, we practiced retelling stories. What do you remember? Retelling a story is when we say what happened from beginning to end in our own words. We include lots of detail when we're retelling stories, but if we want to tell a story in a quick, simple way, summarizing is a better approach. Summarizing means using your own words to tell the most important parts in a much shorter way without all the tiny details. This helps us quickly tell and understand what a text is mainly about. Remember we learned how to summarize informational texts a while ago? We went to the museum with Justin and summarized facts about the shark exhibit. But summarizing stories is a little different. Instead of facts, stories have things like characters and problems. Those are the sort of things we include. Let me show you how. A helpful tool for summarizing stories is the somebody wanted, but so then organizer, which has different sections we fill out. Here's how it works. After reading a story, we fill in each part with the most important details, just enough to say what the story's about. First, let's read a story called The Show and Tell Mystery. Then we'll summarize it together. Today was Ben's turn for show and tell, and he'd brought his grandmother's lucky coin. It was shiny, old, and had traveled through 10 countries. Ben stood in front of the class and reached into his bag. He froze. "It's gone!" Ben gasped. "Are you sure?" Miss Carter asked. Just then, Ben noticed something strange on the floor, a sparkly trail of glitter leading out of the classroom. "I'll be right back," Ben said. He followed the trail past the art room and gym and finally to the janitor's closet. Inside, something squeaked. It was Buttons, the classroom hamster. Buttons had escaped from her cage and was sitting next to a pile of treasures. There was a gold earring, a foil candy wrapper, paper clips, and a whole lot of glitter. And right on top was Ben's coin. Ben picked up Buttons and the pile of shiny things and then headed back to class. Miss Carter looked surprised. "Looks like Button has a thing for sparkly stuff," she laughed. With the mystery solved, Ben finally got to show the class his coin. Now, let's summarize the story using the somebody, wanted, but, so, then method. First, let's fill in the somebody part. Who's the main character? It's Ben. Next, the wanted part. What did Ben want? Ben wanted to show his grandmother's special coin to the class for show and tell. This shows Ben's goal and why the coin mattered to him. It also sets up the conflict he faces when the coin goes missing. Now for the but part. We need to ask ourselves, what was the conflict Ben faced? And how would I summarize it in a short, simple way? I'll give you two options to choose from. But the coin went missing. Or, But Ben realized the coin was missing, and Miss Carter asked if he was sure. Pause the video to choose. The first one's better. It tells us the main problem without extra detail like what Miss Carter said, because the summary makes sense without it. Now for the so part. We need to explain what Ben did next. Focus on how he responded to the problem, like how he found the coin. Pause the video to summarize the so part in a sentence. Remember, don't include the ending yet. Let's check. I wrote, so he followed a trail of glitter and found Buttons the hamster with lots of shiny objects, including his coin. Yours might be a bit different, and that's fine, as long as it includes the same key events. Finally, then, how did it all end? For this part, we need to describe the resolution. I'd say, then Ben brought Buttons and the treasures back to class and finally got to show his coin. Now that we've got all our information, we can combine it into sentences. Simply put the sentences one after another. You might need to add some more punctuation, like periods or commas. So, now we have a summary. Notice how I didn't include every little detail from the story? For example, I didn't include that the coin had traveled through 10 countries or that the glitter trail went past the art room and gym to the janitor's closet because they're not important details that impact the plot, and my summary makes sense without them. There's one important step left. When we finish writing, what should we do? Check our work to see if anything's missing or unclear. I'm going to add class here so readers understand that Buttons is the class hamster. That makes way more sense than a random hamster in the school. Great! I think my summary is complete. It's short and covers the most important details needed to understand the story. Hey, I almost forgot. I need to summarize my trip to the zoo. So, I went to the zoo with my friend Caroline. We saw tons of animals like penguins, bears, monkeys, lions, and my favorite, giraffes. The best part was watching the zookeepers feed them. Then we ended the day with lunch at the cafe, where we could see elephants right outside the window. So there you have it, a summary of my day. You probably noticed I didn't use the same method for summarizing texts. That's because there are different ways to summarize. So use the way that works best for you. What matters is that you tell the most important parts in a clear, short way. Next time you tell someone about a fun day out, try summarizing it. Remember, where there are words, there's a world to explore. See you next time.
Hey, hey.